We need to abandon a Christian America as our ultimate hope. And we need to have our eyes fixed on where our true citizenship lies, and that is in heaven, and we need that. We need that every day. We need that so we don't get distracted. We need it so we don't get discouraged. We need that. We need that reminder. This world is not our home. We need the reminder that sin wants to destroy us. Because I dare say, I'll go out on a limb and say there is not a person here this morning who does not need to fight against sin. There's not a person here this morning who has not let sin creep in a little too close. There's not a person here this morning who has not forgotten, maybe even just for an instant, that sin wants to destroy them. That includes me. Every one of us need this reminder. Sin wants to destroy you. Sin is serious. It's nothing to play with. Our relationship with sin says a lot about our relationship with God. And maybe it says that we don't have a relationship with God. And so we need that reminder that sin wants to destroy us, that it's serious, and we need to use that to examine our relationship with God, to ask ourselves, have I ever come to faith in Jesus Christ? What does my life say about that? What does my relationship with sin say about that? We need that reminder. And we need the reminder this morning that God's glory is what matters the most. Because sometimes if we live differently, if we live like this world really isn't our home, then we do face a little bit of persecution sometimes, don't we? Usually just in the form of slander, usually just in the form of maybe some relationships that end, usually just in the form of our standing in the community. People talk about us, they look down on us. They think that we're acting like we're too good or some kind of holy rollers or whatever. We need to remember that God's glory is what matters most. My own reputation, my own standing in this community, my own achievements, those things don't really matter. What matters most is God's glory, and I need to continue to do what I'm doing, and you need to continue to do what you're doing, because one day the things that people are slandering you for will result in God receiving the glory that He deserves. We need that reminder, and we're going to need that reminder more and more in the coming days. I really believe that. I really believe that. I don't think it's going to get better, and this is not doom and gloom. I think it's going to get worse. I think that the world, I think our nation will continue to move further away from God and Jesus Christ and the truth of God's Word. It's going to happen. That laws will be passed, that society at large will be increasingly hostile to the truth of God's Word, and that you and I will have to use this perspective and these reminders to bear up under persecution and slander and all sorts of accusations. God's glory is what's most important. More important than my reputation, more important than my checking account, more important than anything else. God's glory is most important. We need that reminder. So how's your perspective this morning? Maybe all of us need to take a step back and just be reminded about what's really important. Maybe during our invitation time this morning, you need to do some confessing. Maybe you need to confess that you've placed too much of your hope on the here and now. Maybe your lifestyle looks a little too much like the world. Maybe you've adopted a little too much of the American dream. Maybe your hopes are resting too much on a Christian America and not on God and where our ultimate citizenship lies. And maybe you need to confess that. Maybe you need to confess this morning that there's some sin in your life that you've allowed to get a little too close. Maybe you need to hear that warning a little louder. Sin wants to destroy me. Abstain from fleshly lusts that are waging war against your soul. Maybe you need to confess sin this morning. That's what this place